Welcome. Welcome to June's message from spirit animals. Each month, I bring new energy for the directions, helping guide us for the month. This month, we invite you to begin anew, act boldly, feel deep, and stand firm. Hello, my name is Sue Storm, and for over 4 decades, I've helped thousands of people reconnect to their spirit animal guides and deepen their connection to self and spirit. You can find valuable content on my channel, so do subscribe so we can get connected. In the East, the robin brings new beginnings. The robin has long been the herald of the East in direction of the rising sun and the dawn, of the first breath of something that doesn't exist before. In many traditions, East is where all things originate, where the light breaks through the darkness, where the soul receives its instructions for the first time for the journey ahead. Robin carries that energy in its very nature. Its red breast is no accident. It holds the color of life force, of blood, of the heart's willingness to try again. Robin is a guide of renewal and transformation, signaling the opening of new cycles. It teaches that growth requires releasing what no longer serves us, clearing the nest, so to speak. You know, creating that space for energies to emerge. So this might mean letting go of small books or clothes that you've put to the side. And it might even mean letting go of friendships or relationships that have been quietly holding you back a little longer than you have to care to admit to yourself. Robin calls you to express yourself fully, align with joy, and trust the inner knowing that leads you forward. This might look like feeling more hopeful, coming up with a new idea, or finally feeling ready, getting that something new. It's been cycling around for a while. Perhaps you start journaling in the morning, treating that as a practice, or greet the morning sun, as I love to do, as a practice. I go out and I sing to the morning sun, sing to the spirit natures, welcoming them to the new day. Perhaps you reach out to someone that's been on your mind for a long time. It's been popping in. Or take that very first step on a project, like outline your book or create some sketches for the painting that you want to paint, whatever it may be. Even small beginnings carry power. This is where things get rooted before they rise. Now we're going to move to the south. Now, south, salamander. Oh my goodness, salamander. The salamander brings fire and inspiration. The salamander brings fire and inspires action. The south is the direction of the midday, the full sun, of heat, of the peak of life's energy. It's the place of passion, of courage, and the will to become. Salamander is one of the most ancient symbols associated with fire, believed across many cultures to be born from the flame itself, untouched and unharmed. It does not fear the heat, lives inside it. Salamander comes to you this month as an invitation to stop hiding. The fire it carries is not destructive, it's clarifying. It burns away the performance, the people pleasing, the version of yourself that you created to feel safe in rooms where you were never meant to be. The salamander asks you, what would you do? What would you do if you stop waiting for permission? You may feel bursts of energy, motivation, and strong emotion this month. Let them move through you rather than shutting them down. Sing while you cook. Even if you were told over and over again that you can't sing, move it. Move your body. Dance in the kitchen. Begin your book. Open your business. Enroll in that class that you keep bookmarking and saying and closing and saying, I'll get to it someday. Do it. Join. This is your fire. Use it with intention so it lights up your path rather than scatters your energy all over. Now we're going to move into the West. The West, we have the heron. And the heron brings emotional wisdom and patience and a patient flow. The west is the direction of the setting sun, of water, and of the inner world. It's that place where we go when doing is done and the feeling begins, where it's where we process and integrate and come to an understanding what has happened to us. The water doesn't rush to be somewhere else. It finds that lowest point, gathers, and moves when it's ready. And the heron knows immediately. The heron stands on the edge of two worlds, the land and the water, the known and the unknowing. It's perfectly still. And it's watching beneath the surface. It's not passive. No, it's profoundly present, that heron. It's that stillness. It's is it's not an emptiness. It is a true fullness of attention. And when the moment arrives and that fish comes by, the heron moves with absolute precision. Absolute. And the wisdom of the heron offers you now is to look beneath the surface of your life. Trust that you already know what's inside. Yeah, you already know what's inside you, even if you can't explain it. When you ground yourself to the earth and to your own deep beliefs, clarity becomes more and more easily. And the emotion that insight flows with is greater than grace. Be persistent. Walk your path. Not the one your parents had laid out for you or your relatives, friends. No. Walk your path. There's a unique way that you're meant to move through this life. And it may not look like anybody else's. It may not look very conventional. Not at all. That's not a flaw. No. That is the signature of life, of your life, and a life truly lived. What you love will grow, and what you do not love will not. And what you do not love will not. And that is wisdom, not failure. Now we're going to move to the north. And the north brings you the elephant. The elephant brings grounding, wisdom, ensured strength. Oh my goodness. The north is the direction of midnight, of winter, of our ancestors, and that deep knowing that only comes with time. It's the direction we face when we are ready to receive the teachings that we can't rush into. The elephant, perhaps, is the most fitting with its long memory, its matriarchal wisdom, its quiet authority. The elephant embodies everything that the North asks of us. The elephant does not need to announce itself. It does not need to perform its power. The ground simply shifts when it moves. That's kind of the strength of being offered to you this month. That strength that kind of shouts out, but the kind that takes hold, steady, rooted, and unshakable. Elephant asks you to recognize the strength that you already carry. This is not about becoming something new. It's about becoming more fully what you already are. Make choices that support your long-term well-being, not just relief in the moment. Stick to a simple daily habit. Respond to difficulty with a calm rather than a reaction. Make decisions from your deepest truth rather than your loudest fear. Real strength, the elephant reminds us, is quiet, and quiet things last. Together, these four guides shape the energy of June. Begin something new with the robin's hope. Feed the salamander's fire. Trust your inner current with the heron's patience. And anchor it in with the elephant's enduring wisdom. As this month unfolds, right, you have those four energies, those four totems. To honor these energies and then invite them in more fully into your life, consider creating a small space, even just a little space on the corner of your table or your desk, or even on a windowsill, where you place four objects that represent each of the directions and the totems themselves. Maybe a feather or a flower for the robin in the east, and a candle for the salamander in the south, and a small bowl of water for the heron in the west. And maybe like a little stone or a piece of wood, the elephant in the north. You don't need to elaborate. Intention is the most sacred ingredient in this process. Each morning, or whenever you need to ground, place your hand over your heart and take 3 slow breaths. And simply say, I am open to new beginnings. I act with courage. I trust what I feel. I stand in my wisdom. Let those words settle into your body before you start your day. And at the end of the month, or whenever it feels right to you, go back to these 4 animals. Go back to this space and give it your gratitude. Give it your thank yous. And release what you no longer need. Maybe put a piece of paper and burn it safely, or an object returned to the earth, or simply a moment of quiet is acknowledgement of enough. Completion is its own kind of medicine. So I want you to sit with these questions. If you can give yourself a quiet moment, and you may want to journal your answers, speak them out loud, or simply let them rest in your awareness. So from the robin, what have I been waiting for to begin? What have I been waiting to begin? And what actually am I waiting for? What would I release this month if I could truly trust that something better is going to come my way? And from the salamander, where in my life am I still hiding or holding back? What would I do differently if I cared less about how others looked and more about how it felt to be in my soul, with my soul? And from the heron, oh, what does my intuition already know that my mind has been so slow to accept? Where have I been moving at someone else's expectations or someone else's pace instead of my own? And from the elephant, what kind of strength do I want to be known for? What kind of strength do I want to be known for? Not in the world, but within myself. What long-term choice could I make this month that my future self would be so grateful for? And finally, one last question to carry you with throughout the month of June. If I live this month as the most grounded, most authentic, most alive self, what would that actually look like? I think you already know the answer. These 4 guides are simply here to remind you. From my heart to yours, until next time, Sue Storm.